All right, well, here we are, ready for round 5 of our league. We're currently 1-3 with Golgari Elves. It's been kind of a rough go. We've lost 3 times to red. We've had some tight matches. We lost in game 3, I think, every time.
2 times to red.
Is it 2? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
One
2
to-
times
one
to
to
red,
Etron.
2 times to Etron.
One to Etron. We won one against Etron.
Yeah, we won one of them against Etron, but those were our 4 matches, twice against Etron and twice against red-based decks, one of which was just a classic burn pretty much, and the other one being the red-black deck that's kind of been dominating Modern for the last week or so.
Yep.
It hasn't been great. We're hoping to get a 2-3 here. The deck seems fine. We'll talk about some of the changes we would make to it after this, and then as well we'll preview the deck that we're going to give a run through Pioneer in our next league. So.
Yep. So let's go ahead, jump right into this to finish out this league strong.
Yep.
Yep,
so kind of hoping we can dodge red here. It'd be kind of cool to dodge Etron as well and just kind of play against something else just to kind of get a feel for how a different matchup might feel.
I agree. But you know what? We definitely have some adjustments.
Oh yeah, plenty of those. Yep.
This is the very first. This is going to be literally the 5th match that we ever played with this list. So.
Yep, for sure. We've definitely noticed some things throughout the league that we should change. Notice some things that we've thought about, and we'll share those with you as we go.
Yep.
A few of them we've already brought up on
previous videos.
Previous videos. One of which being Seal of Primordium for these artifact-based strategies like Etron or Caustic Caterpillar. Caterpillar's benefit being that you can tutor it with Finale, and you can also hit it off Collecting Company.
Yep.
So there's some arguments to that over the Seal, both of which are really sweet with Lurrus. So,
Yep, I agree. And since we're still in the queue and we're looking into it, another card that we did mention was Cavern of Souls.
Yep, Cavern of Souls just should have been in our deck, and it looks like we're paired now, so we'll
revisit this discussion. Yep. All right, so we lost to Dyro, so we went 1-4 in Dyros. That's magic.
Yep, for sure. Not super focused on that.
No.
Opponent's playing Obosh, so they're probably playing the Gruul, one of the Gruul variants.
And this is a send back.
Yeah, very, very bad hand. We will mulligan this for sure.
Yep, multiple 2-drops. Well, all 2-drops.
Just not a castable spell in our hand. It's not even a little bit close.
No,
this one is more close. We probably have to keep. I mean, we could mull, I guess.
With Lurrus, I might.
We are playing against Obosh, which means we're almost certainly playing against 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Bone Crusher Giants.
Yeah, so I think this hand just isn't going to cut it. So I think
probably not. We probably just need more lands. Probably just need more lands.
So we've noticed the same thing. These one land hands against the red decks have not really panned out well. So
it's hard to pan out when you're.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy. They ruined a 4. I just don't think this hand is going to win.
Yeah.
So. Okay, this one at least has a chance. To be honest, I almost don't hate keeping 3 lands lead the Stampede. That might be a little aggressive, but that's definitely something we could do. We'd also keep 3 lands Visionary, or 3 lands, probably 2. Then in that case, 2 lands Druid Visionary.
I actually don't hate the lead the Stampede one because
we just want to recover from this mulligan. And
I think that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to actually agree that that's probably the keep.
Yeah.
So, put back the Elite, put back the Visionary, put back the Druid.
Another nice thing about it is we're not relying on our creatures for mana. We just have the land drops.
Yes.
So, yep, and they're doing that. Makes sense.
Blood Moon be a little annoying with this hand, but...
A little bit. We don't care that much, though. I think our deck is, okay against Blood Moon. It's,
I'm okay with just not taking damage.
Yeah, we don't need to take any damage this game at all.
That way, if we draw a 2-drop, we can play the Blue March and still be able to cast it.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks.
Sure
thing. Don't care a ton about that right now.
Not really.
All right,
sure.
Land Druid, go.
Right. He's going to get in there for 3.
And we'll let him do that. That's fine.
Yep, 100%, because there's no...
Another one? Yep. Okie doke. That's fine with us.
Yep.
Them missing a land there is really nice. Mainly because they won't be able to Obosh us this turn, which is good. We kind of need our opponent to miss some beats. Wow. Our leads have been rough in this league, for sure. It's the second time we've led into...
And that's just some variance, you know.
Yep.
We have so much hits. We have over 30 creatures in the deck, as you can see our deck list to the left of the screen. Like,
31,
there is so much. Yeah, 31 is the number. So chances of having both of them, ironically, being a walking ballista on top of it.
Yeah, it's just really not good. But what are you going to do?
Yep.
Sure thing.
We're on a mold of 4, and
a face. They didn't even care about the Heritage Druid. They say forget your Heritage
Druid. All right,
they might get punished though now.
Let's
I think we're just Cocoing right now.
Yeah, I agree.
We could hit some elves, do some cool stuff. So let's see what happens. Man, oh man, not friendly Cocos and leads in this game.
This game has been pretty mean to us, guys.
Pretty rough, for sure.
Sometimes the variance fairy comes upon you and says you are now the enemy.
Yeah, we're
just gonna have to.
We probably have to block with something. We can Lurrus and replay. So yeah, I think this is what we're supposed to do.
It's unfortunate, but it's the life we're in right now.
Yep.
I'm expecting to play this BC.
Yep. Oh, just face and bolt. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. That's exactly what you expect to do on a mold of 4 against an aggressive deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was rough, for sure.
Alrighty. Thoughtseize seems alright against them.
It's okay. Honestly, I don't even know if we should sideboard at all, to be honest. I don't think... I guess... Fatal Push kills their mana dorks and stuff, but I almost think we're just supposed to say...
I think we're just supposed to stick to our gameplay and say...
just try and be the elf deck.
Say, forget it, we're going to sit there and just submit the same 75?
I think so. I think on the play, I would like that. On the draw, we can be a little more interactive, but I think I just kind of want to try doing our thing this game. Yeah.
Play first. Reveal the Lurrus.
Wow. Pretty bad hand, I think.
It is pretty bad.
Yeah,
I think we have to ship it.
We'll keep this one. It's not great, but we're going to bottom a ballista.
Yep.
And we're going to hope our opponent doesn't have turn 1 bolt. If they do, so be it. It's just kind of what...
So far, what I can say is that mulligans in this round hasn't been nice, but we got to fight through it.
Yep, we got to try, at least.
So we're going to grab Overgrown Tomb for sure. We want to make sure that we have our mana.
Yep. Casting Lurrus could be very important, so we're just going to make sure that that's on the table. All right, so no turn 1 Lightning Bolt is really nice.
That helps.
And it looks like they mulled to 5 this game as well, which is...
I think we just lead here and just fill our hand up.
I almost think we should kill his dork with Ballista, right? With him on a mold to 5. I mean, we could go with the other option, but him on a mold to 5, I kind of just like saying get out of here.
Yeah, that's probably good. And then we can just go ahead and get in for
damage. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just want to Ballista this off the board. Opponent mold to 5 and have the Arbor Elf, so...
Send a message.
Yep. I definitely like lead next turn potentially, but I think this turn we definitely just wanted to get the mana off the table. Sure. It's okay. A lot of options here. I think Visionary is probably the best just because it could draw us into the land. Really high payoff. Also more mana efficient overall.
Yep.
So I think that's correct. Could have been wrong, though. It's hard to say.
Right.
Ooh.
That's an issue.
That is a huge issue. So maybe we should have not fetched the Overgrown Tomb on turn 1 and thought more about Blood Moon. Now, I'm going to be honest. I didn't think Blood Moon would even necessarily still be in his deck. So, he kind of got us there.
Yep.
And also didn't even know if he was playing Blood Moon to begin with, because some of these lists don't play Moon.
Right.
They're playing like Glorybringer and just being more of an aggressive deck rather than this prison deck. Because Blood Moon really isn't that good in the format. Certainly not good against the Prowess deck, and it's not good against a lot of the Astrolabe strategies specifically. Right. So I'm not sure that it lines up very well in the format, but here it's definitely going to beat us.
Oh yeah, like we are about 100% dead at this point.
Yeah, we can't. Do anything.
Nope.
So that's rough.
Yep. That'll do it.
So 1-4ing the league obviously sucks and isn't what we wanted, but I do think it was a good learning experience for us, and hopefully, anyone who is watching at home that maybe would want to consider playing this deck. And now we get to kind of review the league and talk about changes we would make and what we thought of the deck.
Yep. I'll start. I do think we got the unfortunate pairings of playing against some artifact-based decks twice.
That was rough, for sure.
And we don't have answers. We didn't necessarily... We did overlook. Let's not try to overshadow that. We overlooked artifacts. We didn't think about artifacts when we did the deck build process.
Yep.
But at the same time, if we can go back, I don't know if we would put a heavy thought into artifacts, because artifacts aren't a huge percentage of the meta.
We certainly wouldn't play many. I think that... we should definitely have some copies of Seal of Primordium and or Caustic Caterpillar in the 75, but we wouldn't have played more than 2 to 3. I don't
exactly.
think. Another thing that we mentioned, obviously, and this one we should have just done, is Cavern of Souls should just be in this deck. There are literal no creatures other than Walking Ballista that are not elves, and obviously Lurrus too, but Cavern would have potentially given us real game even without an artifact destruction spell to beat Chalice specifically. So that was just kind of a misstep.
And while we're on that discussion, let's talk about cards that I was unimpressed with. I was super unimpressed by Walking Ballista in these matches. It did not feel good.
Yeah, the amount of them we were playing was way too high.
It should be a 1 of, in my opinion, and I feel like those art slots should be dedicated to other things that just synergize with the deck better.
Yeah, specifically with Lurrus. I felt like this deck doesn't have enough value trains with the Lurrus, which brings me to my next thing about a different card we could be playing in the sideboard. I think that other than Death Shadow and Tarmogoyf specifically, Fatal Push isn't actually much better than a card like Deadweight in Modern right now. Deadweight seems to line up pretty well and is a recurable removal spell with Lurrus. So I actually think if we were to try playing this deck again, we would consider trying Deadweight instead of Fatal Push. I don't think cards like Tarmogoyf matter very much against elves usually. Obviously, it's nice to get a big body out of the way, but I don't think Tarmogoyf makes up a huge percentage of the metagame, nor does Death Shadow. And I think Deadweight just being a recurable answer over and over, and the fact that it kills other people's Lurruses without Revolt is a big deal.
I 100% agree with you. Another card I would actually want to mess around with is Collective Brutality.
Yeah.
It's another we chose Golgari for the utility based cards, and I feel like Collective Brutality is one of those cards that you just want to play, because the worst case scenario, we have Lurrus. We could easily pitch a 1-drop creature if we need to, just to get the full value of a Collective Brutality against red, for example. and still be able to replay that card when we go and cast Lurrus on turn 4, for example.
Yep, I agree. Another card the list could consider too. I didn't feel like Nettle Sentinel was super good in this deck. It felt like it just we never really went off with it. So I almost wonder if a card like Essence Warden would be good. I believe Essence Warden, for those who don't know, is a 1-mana 1/1 green creature that is a Soul Warden. Whenever a creature enters, you gain a life, and I believe it's also an elf. So that card could potentially be okay in this format, just as another like 1-mana thing that your opponent kind of has to deal with and can gain you incremental life. Because other than Lurrus, we had no way to gain life, which seems really poor in the current format.
Also was a big fan of Finale. I get the purpose, but we were never in situations where we could be like Finale Crater Hoof style effects.
Yeah. Ultimately, if I'm being honest, I feel like the Lurrus as a companion in Elves is probably not the way you want to go.
I agree.
I think Elves really benefits from cards such as Shaman of the Pack, Azuri Renegade Leader, and Elvish Archdruid. Those cards are very powerful and just are more things that your opponent has to deal with and are super huge payoffs with Collected Company. This deck was kind of missing that. Collected Company really, the only good hits are Elvish Visionary and Clan Caller. Obviously, hitting Dwynen's Elite is fine, but Dwynen's Elite's kind of whatever in this deck because we only have 4 Lords. Another thing we talked about too before we even built the deck, and then we kind of didn't talk about it during the deck building process, was Metallic Mimic. Metallic Mimic, if you're going the Lurrus route, is probably necessary just because I felt like we were just kind of missing like ways to be really aggressive and like cards that our opponent needs to kill. But even Metallic Mimic, like it's a 2-mana 2/1 that dies to Lava Dart. That's kind of embarrassing. So, I think ultimately the deck should probably just move towards the classic build of Elves, which has Shaman of the Pack and has more payoff type of stuff.
Yep, and the Metallic Mimic, the reason we didn't include it because the main purpose of Company is we can Company like during combat to do a little combat trick and hit Lords to accelerate the number of points of damage that we're getting into our opponent. Metallic Mimic doesn't actually do that.
Yeah.
And that's the issue with it at the end of the day. And like you said, Lava Dart killing it does make it quite embarrassing. Honestly, Lava Dart's just good against us in general.
Yeah,
but
Lava Dart,
regardless,
definitely a card that Elves strategies do not want to be playing against. So,
but regardless, it was a blast playing this deck. I would definitely reamp it. Like I said, Lurrus just isn't the way you want to go. It was cool trying it out, but now we know.
Or at least not the way you want to go with this kind of build. It's possible that with like Mishra's Baubles and things like that, maybe you can make the deck good enough with other cards. But the way the deck was built was definitely not optimal.
All right, Steven, here's what we're going to do. Abzan Yorion Elves.
Okay.
Let's do this. We can bring some Shaman in the packs. Let's go.
And another thing too, I'd like to mention, like in normal Elves, it's possible that you could just play a couple Lurrus in your deck to replay things. That's always an option.
But at the same time, probably just doesn't interact with what you're
I
trying
agree.
to do.
It's probably still wrong, but
nonetheless,
something to consider.
We might do a league in the future with traditional Elves, no companion. We're just going to go straight up, punch you in the face, Shaman the Pack to close the game.
Really depends what our viewers are looking to see.
Yep, and like you said, if you have anything that you want to see, don't hesitate to let us know.
Another card this deck can't play is Reclamation Sage, which is just like really,
that
really good
so
card.
Good. Yes, it would have been so good.
Yeah.
A card that we can hit off Company that says Chalice doesn't stop us.
Yep, Chalice, Ensnaring Bridge, stuff like that. And it being a 3-drop makes it really, really hard to stop.
Exactly. But now that we got to talk about this a little bit, let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be playing next. This is a deck that Steven designed all by himself.
Okay, that's inaccurate. Yeah. Larry and I both built this deck together, and it was inspired by one of our viewers, again. It's a Sultai Flash deck in Pioneer. Now, obviously, this deck is not 100% optimal for the format. I understand that we could be playing cards like Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, and that would definitely make the deck better. But ultimately, we decided to go with something kind of interesting, so we went with a Yumori strategy as our companion.
Yes. So let's talk about this deck a little bit. Yumori, for those who don't know what Yumori does. Yumori is a 4-drop companion that you choose a specific card type. All the cards of that card type now cost one less. The restriction upon creating your deck with this companion is the cards in your deck outside of lands can only be of that specific card type. As you notice in this deck list, it says 36 creatures, 24 lands. That's because we're only allowed to play creatures. Now, we do get to do some cheating with that with cards like Brazen Borrower, where it's actually a non-creature spell attached to it, but because of how the mechanics of Magic work, you're actually able to play both.
Yep, and also we have cards like Frilled Mystic and Elder Deep Fiend. They like do things that are kind of like spell based. They feel like spells when you do them. So yeah, we're kind of getting around that. We have some cool things going on. And one really sweet thing about this deck is Slitherwisp literally never misses. Every single spell in the deck will draw us a card and deal damage to our opponent, which is kind of cool.
We have a really good punch you in the mouth strategy if we ever want to. With Brianhorn Cutthroat can get out of range very quick. We have some good card draw coming from Sea Dasher Octopus, Slitherwisp, as he mentioned, along with Spectral Sailor. All those good. We even have unconventional card draw. Our opponent decides they want to go and be like, hey, I want to draw 2 cards. We can easily say, how about we draw 2 cards instead, or we draw a card instead?
Yep.
Notion Thief can come in and have some fun against decks like Inverter and Lotus Breach. Imagine, as Steven mentioned before, they pour over the pages and we decide, like, hey, how about you discard a card and we draw all the cards instead?
Yeah, and what's kind of cool, too, is some people will probably miss, like, for example, the Notion Thief thing. Like, imagine a scenario where we have Yumori in play and a Slitherwisp in play and leave up 2 mana. We can actually Notion Thief for 2 mana in that spot. And a lot of people will probably miss that. So that's kind of sweet. Definitely some cool stuff going on with the deck. Is it tier 1 deck? Absolutely not. Is it a deck that we're going to 4-1 or 5-0 with? Probably not. 3-2 would be sweet. 2-3, even a 1-4 we've kind of talked about would be nice. It's not going to be the best thing in the world, but it's going to be fun, and I think it's going to be interesting.
Yep, I think it's going to be a good time. We have some really cool cards in this deck. We'll be going into more in-depth analysis and deck tech about this when we get the videos released. We'll probably be recording videos either on Friday, which will be the May 22nd, and then they'll probably be uploaded on that Saturday, or vice versa. They'll be done throughout the weekend sometime. I don't know what our schedules look like yet because it is Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
But we will definitely work to get these out so we can get as much videos out there. This deck is intended to be fun. It's a user-submitted deck, and this is what we do. You submit us a deck, we'll do our best to play it.
Yeah, users submitted the idea, and then we kind of took that idea and went our own direction with it. Were they expecting this exact list? Almost certainly not. Hopefully everyone gets some entertainment out of it and enjoys watching it. Yeah, definitely more of a fun deck that is definitely something you won't see anywhere else. So.
I do love a deck that plays 46 rares.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even notice that.
46 rares out of the whole deck. 4 commons.
Yeah, a lot of sweet cards in this deck, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, hopefully, for our viewers. So hopefully you guys will like it and enjoy it. And so we're excited to give it to you.
And just to close everything up, don't want to take any more of your time. We do want to thank all of you for tuning in to all of our videos, not just this one. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that bell next to it so you can get all those alerts when we have new videos posted. In addition, check us out on Swish Gaming's website. That's where you can find all the articles written by Steven and myself, along with some other various members of the team, which will all get you great resources for your next deck, such as, like I said, deck lists, articles, videos, so much more. If you have any questions about this match, any other matches, or any of the videos that we post, go ahead and leave a comment for us. We try to keep those maintained and answered as frequently as possible. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to use that and you want to just go directly to Twitter to contact us, just send us a tweet. We'll definitely respond to you. We always like to interact with anybody that wants to watch our videos. And again, we want to thank you for watching all of our videos, and during this pandemic, stay as safe as you possibly can.
Yep. We'll see you for the next video, hopefully.
We'll catch you later.